Hello and welcome to another episode of Health, Wealth, and a Happy Home. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Jennifer Cohen. Pleased as always to have you here. And today we're talking about solar power with Verde Solar Power. We have Greg Collins with us. He's the owner. Of course, we live in Arizona. It's got to be the best state in the United States for solar power.
We have the best solar resource of any state in the country. We should be the solar state.
Yes, I think that could be our new motto. Let's take that to the governor.
I keep telling the governor and the leadership that, you know, we need to bribe all the solar companies to move here, bring the jobs here, build out solar in our state, show everybody how it's done, and then sell it to them. We are missing a big opportunity because everybody thinks of Arizona as the solar state, but we're actually like 5th in the country as far as solar installed per capita.
Wow, 5th. That's a shame. All right, we got to work on that.
And we need to work on that.
We definitely need to work on that. So you said you are so busy that we had to pry you away from work because you're so busy
Pretty
right
much,
now.
I was on a roof this morning, yeah.
Yep, I know. Look, he's fresh from the roof.
Yeah, I don't know what anybody's afraid of right now. They're just prepping like crazy, though. We're just phones are ringing off the hook. We're having trouble keeping up with it. I'd like to add another crew if anybody's interested in working on roofs. We're looking for young people that want to have a good career. Now
hiring, you could see your career in solar. And Greg, you're willing to train?
Oh yeah, we have our own system. We'd rather train people than have people that are experienced in other systems.
Oh,
so it's not, solar's not rocket science. It's easy to learn, but
it's got to be done right, though. It's definitely got to be done right. And you guys have a wonderful reputation, great reputation.
Well, thank you.
For getting it done right. It works the first time. It doesn't do. I've heard horror stories. I know people that had other people install solar arrays and then it monsooned and, well, their house flooded because of all the holes in the roofs.
Well, you want a quality local dealer to put on your solar. We have a lot of nationwide companies that have big organizations that have trouble keeping their local crews trained up properly, and we see they're the ones with the poor quality installs that we see. So just hire, go local with your.
Absolutely, it's always better to go local, and Verde Solar Power is your solar energy supplier in Cornville.
We've been there. This is our 12th year.
All right.
We've done well over 400 homes here in the Verde Valley. There's probably 3,000 homes here in the Verde Valley now that are solar equipped, so it's getting to be everywhere you see, and there's a lot more. We're barely keeping up with the new homes that are being built.
So let's talk about the benefits of going solar. So right now, if you've got a normal house, you pay a bill to the electric company every month, and that's just how it is, and it keeps going up and it keeps going up, and every year it's going to go up again.
And they're talking about raising it again.
Exactly.
Yep.
So let's talk about adding a simple solar array to the roof. What's going to happen?
Your typical payback time is 7 years right now. So almost every home has a suitable roof where we can achieve that goal of making it cost effective. We have good financing to where if you can't afford to buy it, you can still have enough savings from the solar that it will be positive cash flow. Your loan payment will be less than what your savings are. So there's no real reason not to do it.
That is true.
We can do just about any kind of roof.
Very nice. So it doesn't matter if it's tile, if it's shingle, if it's metal.
You name it. Everything except a thick foam roof. That's about the only thing we won't do. But we can do ground mounts if we can't do it on your roof. We can. There's a lot of older homes around. We can figure out a way to do those. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but I think there's a website out there named impossible-to-install-solar.com that has a link to ours, because we get all that kind of stuff. We get all these challenging projects, but that keeps it interesting.
Absolutely. And that's very cool. No job is too challenging for Verde Solar Power. I love that.
Well, we're committed to getting solar out there as much as possible. There's no reason why we can't be a solar-powered world.
Absolutely. I mean, it's free. It's free energy. You turn your lights on, it's going to be free. You turn, electric powered heat on, it's going to be free. That's huge. Why keep paying some other company?
We like to say that the energy solution comes up every morning. And that's really true.
That is very true.
You can count on the sunshine here in Arizona. In fact, I think we're done with the rains for the summer.
That's what they're saying.
Which is hard to take, but
well, more sun means
it's.
more
I
hour.
think it's all part of. We're seeing the climate change gradually, and every year.
Yeah.
So,
Which is
and solar is, doing our part, and it's cost effective to do. We ought to do it.
Right, and it's green. Going green. The best way to go green is to go solar. Absolutely. And you offer systems for all budgets as well as the financing, which is great. So they can go with a simple system, or they can go with this fantastically amazing array.
It just depends on what your usage is. We'll size a system to be the most cost effective. We have our own software that'll figure out what's the best size. It'll give you the best payback for your particular house. Just send us your APS bill or your APS data, and we'll figure that out for you.
Well, that's great. Do they do that through your website?
You can submit it through the website, however they want. Email, drop it off at our store in Cornville.
Good.
Catch me if you can.
Well, right. You'll be on a roof. They'll be waving their power bills at you, and you'll be on the roof. How long have you been doing this now, Sid?
Well, we've been in business 12 years. I've been doing solar since the 80s.
Since the 80s.
When I lived off-grid for 4 years down by Wickenburg.
Nice.
And I did a few of the ranches around our area there, and I discovered that we really wasn't ready for prime time yet. Back then it was all off-grid systems with batteries, and people have trouble in the middle of the night and call me in the middle of the night, oh, my electricity's off. And so I decided it wasn't a good business back then. But then when things changed in about 15 years ago, this grid tie solar came in, which makes it just the most cost-effective, efficient, reliable way to do solar, where you're using the grid as your battery, makes the system so much better that that's when solar exploded and the tax credits came in, and we've had monumental
leaps and bounds in technology.
Now we're mainstream.
Excellent.
So we're gradually winning the battle with the utilities as far as being the most cost-effective way to produce electricity in most states, not all states, but
that's true. Some, like Seattle, it would be difficult to be solar in Seattle.
Well, there's a lot of solar-minded people in the Northwest. I know, like Portland, where I grew up, there are more certified solar installers in Portland, Oregon than there are in Phoenix.
Get out.
And it's just because they have a real desire to do it, even though they have half the sunshine we do. And they have cheap electricity with the hydro, but it's just will to do it. In Germany has more solar than all the United States does because they want to do it.
Right.
Even though it's been expensive, Germany has the same climate as Oregon.
True.
But they are making it happen.
Yeah, well, good. I'm glad to see that the trend is continuing to go upwards in the area, and that you're incredibly busy. You got to love that. It basically pays for itself within 7 years, or if you can finance it, you can go ahead and you're still saving more than you're spending. So it's a win-win.
It's a great long-term investment. Solar panels last 50 to 60 years. They're warranted for 25. They'll pay for themselves in 7 years of savings, and then you've got decades of free power after that.
I love that. Decades of free power. That sounds like a rally cry. Decades of free power.
I should have you guys along sometime when we turn on a customer's system for the first time. You see that meter go backwards, and you see their eyes light up. For the first time in my life, I've been free of the power bills.
There's so many great slogans in there. I love it. Go to verdesolarpowered.com. Lots of great information there for you. Or you can give them a call, speak to them directly, 928-284-0884. We'll be right back with more health, wealth, and a happy home, so don't go away.
Been hearing about the crazy benefits of CBD? Find out how CBD can help you at Sedona's #1 resource, CBD Sedona. Come in for a free consultation and let our trained medical staff help you find the perfect product for you. Pain-relieving salves, full-spectrum oils, honeys, teas, cookies, and even CBD for pets. Ready to feel fantastic? Come on by CBD Sedona today.
Award-winning Soundbites Grill is an entertainment restaurant located in Uptown Sedona at the Hyatt Pinion Point Resort. Open for lunch and dinner, featuring fresh fish, all-natural hand-cut beef, even a full vegan menu. Family-friendly, open 11:30 to 9, late dining on Friday and Saturday. Soundbites Grill has some of the best views of the Sedona Red Rocks. Offers world-class entertainment, food, fun, and music.
Are you struggling to overcome an addiction, depression, insomnia, or a weight problem? Then it's time for you to meet with Dr. Elaine Kissel, award-winning, world-renowned hypnotherapist, author, and mind trainer. Now you can get her help from the privacy and comfort of your own home. Let Elaine Kissel create a personalized hypnotherapy plan to overcome your problem forever. Call 844-4KISSEL now for a discounted evaluation appointment. That's 844-4KISSEL.
Starting in the late 1920s, Grandpa Gettle and his brothers laid the groundwork for what would become a family legacy. Almost 100 years and 100 patents later, Gettle's High Desert Mechanical continues to raise the bar of quality heating, cooling, and plumbing products and services in the Verde Valley.
Call Gettle's High Desert Mechanical, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing at 567-2200 or online at GettlesHDM.com, providing solutions for your comfort. Don't settle. Get Gettles.
And welcome back to Health, Wealth, and a Happy Home. I'm sitting here with Greg Collins. He's the owner of Verde Solar Power. We're talking about they've been in business for over 12 years. They're located in Cornville. They've got arrays for all different sizes and needs. And just bring them your APS bill. They'll tell you, hey, we can fix that. We can fix that for you. Now we get to roll through some really awesome pictures. Thank you so much for providing
sure. Let's talk
them.
about some typical.
So the typical flush mount on a tile roof. What are we talking about there? I would think tile would be very difficult to work with.
Tile is definitely slower to do, but there's a lot of tile in the area, and it's a good long-lasting roof, so you don't have to take the solar off to fix the shingles someday. And so in the long run, it's really worth it. It actually sits on a bracket that goes through the tile. We have to drill a hole in your tile roof, and then but they last forever that way.
And they're sleek looking. If you want an array that doesn't jump out at you, that's a really nice, sleek look. And we've got lots of big roofs around here. Now that's a flat one. You also do tilted ones because some homes are just not advantageously
There's also a lot
pointed.
of flat roofs where we need to tilt the panels up in order to catch the sun properly, and we have to tilt them up so that they'll self-clean in the rain. If you have a panel that's below 15 degrees of tilt, it's just going to get dirty and it's going to stay dirty and be hard to clean. So we tilt them up. It's more cost effective, and you can work on the roof underneath. It's just the way to go.
Oh, that's very good.
We do on flat roofs. The danger there is, of course, we're putting a lot of holes in your flat roof. That is also, always a leak concern anyway. So, but we have a system that's got primary and secondary seals to where, knock on wood, we have a good, successful mounting system there.
That's really good to know. Now, a typical system, how long does it take to install?
3 or 4 days typically.
That's not bad.
This time of year we can only work for a few hours before it gets hot, in the morning. But not very long.
I know that the system, sometimes the bigger they get, the more inverters you need. But you have a very clever dual orientation strategy where you can make larger arrays without doing that?
Right. There's a code rule in the National Electrical Code that limits us to 7.7 kilowatts of backfeed into a 200 amp service panel, which you have on your home. Almost everybody uses 200 amp services these days. To go beyond that limitation, we can do it. It's just extra cost, extra hassle, additional permit. We got to have APS come in and shut your service down while we modify it, and then add a second. It's just a bunch of extra stuff. So we have a 7.7 kilowatt inverter or system will be what almost everybody needs. You know, you have to have a home with a pool or a lot of usage somehow to really need to go bigger than that. But we can go bigger than that with the array. We'll go up to about 11.5 kilowatts by putting some of the array facing west and some of the array facing south or east. We spread it around so that part of the array is working in the morning, part of it's working in the afternoon. We're getting more utilization out of the inverter without having to cross that expensive backfeed rule divide.
Oh, that's very clever.
We're doing a lot of that days, and we need to have bigger systems. Now with the new APS rate plans that went into effect 2 years ago, where they're charging 3 times as much for the late afternoon power as they do the rest of the time, we have to typically put in systems that are 130 or more % of what your actual usage is in order to break even on your bill. So we're having to do bigger and bigger systems, which pushes us up against that backfeed limitation. And but the good news is solar's continued to come down in price to where it is very cost effective still. We can still do 7-year paybacks, which has been what it's been all along. And make it very viable for almost everybody.
Good. And I love how you've kept up with the technology all these years. Solar used to be bulky and ugly. A lot of people go, I don't want to do that, it's ugly. But now it's sleek and simple, and you can choose how much of it that you want to see, whether you want to show off to your neighbors, hey, look at me, I got solar, Bob.
Yeah, we have to do that.
You know, or you want to kind of like hide it a little bit.
Well, and the new solar panels are what are called triple black. They're black cells, they're monocrystalline cells which look at black, and then the lines between the cells, which is the back sheet you're seeing, is also black, and then the frame is black. So now it looks like just this big skylight on your roof. Doesn't have all the little white spots and aluminum obnoxious look to it. So they're just a big black field of solar panels,
really
and
like
sleek is the right word.
Yeah, super. It's like sports car. It's the sports car of solar panels.
Yeah, show it off.
Amazing. And I love that you have 2 options. You can put it up on the rack, or it can be flush mounted, and you can angle it depending on what you need to, depending on the type of roof. It's very much a per house thing.
Yeah.
You're going to look at someone's home and you're going to say, okay, this is what's going to work best for you. This is what we need to do here because of X, Y, and Z.
We have enough design flexibility where we can optimize a system for your particular situation. Our inverters have 3 inputs now where we can have part of the array facing east, part of it facing south, part of it facing west, or however is best for your roof, and get optimum power out of your panels, which all leads to being cost effective.
Absolutely. And back to what you said earlier, foam roofs are not a problem for you.
We can do foam roofs, we can do hot mop, composition tar, we can do membrane roofs, we can do tile, shingle.
Wow.
We can even do mobile home roofs now, if they're in the county.
Huh.
So.
Wow. Well, that's very, very cool. And it's just, I love it. There's nothing stopping you now. I know previously homeowners were told, you know, besides the fact that it was previously much more expensive, is, oh no, you can't do that roof because of this, that, or the other. You're like, no problem. We got this. You've got all the experience you need and the knowledge and the nice, calm sensibility about you to go, I got this. Let's get you solar.
Yeah. The only thing that'll really stop us is shade. You know, Arizona, we like our shade trees. We always, you know, hate to recommend cutting down any trees. We just always try to find a way around it.
Yep, for sure. Now, when you do have to mount things to roofs prior to putting on the things, how does that make homeowners nervous? You're up there on the roof and you're putting in all these brackets and going through the roof, but you've got a way of doing it.
Oh, it's just basic roofing, you know, technology and skill, and making sure you seal them up properly. So it's just attention to detail.
Yeah.
And insurance in case something goes wrong.
There you go.
We've never had an insurance claim against any of our solar installs.
Excellent. That's very good. So don't worry. They're up there installing those rails on your roof. It's all good.
Can be done. No, it's very doable.
And then I like that your work is done with an artist's eye. I know that's a funny thing to hear talking about solar arrays on a roof, but I can tell the difference between an array that you've put on a roof and an array that another company has put on a roof, just because yours are so much more attractive. And it can even be the same type of equipment, but you've got an eye for putting things up there versus some other ones are pretty ugly.
Well, thank you for saying that. I mean, but we always try to make them as good looking as possible, but as efficient as possible too. I like to solve puzzles, and that's the way I look at a roof, is what's the way we can arrange things and how to solve that puzzle to get the optimum setup.
Very good, very good. And then someone gives you a call, sets up an appointment, you'll pop on out, take a look at the roof, tell them what they need?
Yeah, you send us your APS bill first. We'll shoot you a preliminary proposal, and if that looks good, we're happy to come out and check out your roof. But now with the really good aerial photography that's available online, I can design almost every home just by looking at the online resources and what your APS usage is, so that we know what you need.
That's super easy for the customer. Just send them your bill.
Yeah, and with the distancing rules, we just soon not come to your house and avoid all of that. So
that's great. That's really good.
When we come do the work, we're working on your roof, and we're classified as essential workers, which is good. Yeah, solar is essential. I like that message. But yeah, we've been working right along.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Check out the website, verdesolarpower.com. We'll be right back. A little more to talk about, so don't go away.
Verde Solar Power. You know, Arizona has lots of clean, renewable sunshine, and we want to help you take advantage of it with our quality solar installations, and we offer to beat any written offer on a residential solar electric system. So bring us your electric bill and let us show you how solar power will save you money. We're located conveniently here in the Verde Valley and are dedicated to helping the valley go solar. So remember, the energy solution comes up every morning.
The EPA says C&B Construction ranks in the top 1% nationally. C&B Construction invites you to see what energy efficiency and indoor air quality can be. We have won another Department of Energy Innovation Award, and C&B Construction is the only contractor in the country to win 6 consecutive EPA Indoor Air Plus awards. Experience our zero-energy, move-in-ready homes at Crossroads at Mingus.
C&B Construction, locally respected, nationally recognized. Find out more at candbhomes.com.
Two things we can count on every year:
a new set of tax rules and great weather here in northern Arizona.
Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, locally owned and operated by Lewis Rice since 1997, is here for you all year long.
Your neighborhood Jackson Hewitt Tax Office will help you in all of your taxing situations.
Electronic filing is always free with your tax preparation at Jackson Hewitt Tax Service.
Get more in return. Call 1-800-234-1040 for an office near you.
Wealth and a happy home. I'm sitting here with Greg Collins. He's the owner of Verde Solar Power. We were talking about installing on any roof, anywhere, anytime. Greg's your man. He's like, oh God, now I'm really going to be crazy busy. Well, what are some of the things we need to look for when we're looking for someone to install solar? Because there's vast differences between the other guys and you.
Well, I think you want a local quality installer is what you want to look for. And the place to look for it is on a website called solarreviews.com. That has independent feedback on, if you have a bad solar install, you can go on there. If you don't like what we've done, you can go on there and blast us, and everybody gets to see it. And that's the way you can find out who's the best installer locally.
Very good.
Through that resource.
Definitely. Great
solarreviews.com. But some of the things you want to think about, I don't know if you want to put the picture up with
the rails, the competitors' rails, that'll show you the really difference between
a lot of solar systems. If you look them on an array, there'll be rails sticking out past the array, which I think is really unsightly. But that's the industry practice, and it makes it easy to install this system, and you've got some adjustability, but it doesn't look good. So our system doesn't do that. All the fasteners are tucked under the array.
Nice.
So that's a lot better.
Nice. And we've heard that all the boxes you have to install by the electrical meter and things, wow, that's crazy and it's unsightly, but it's not so anymore.
Well, yeah, this is a typical mess that we're going to make around your service panel. But, most of that stuff on a lot of homes is all off to the side around the corner of the garage, and it's kind of an area where all the utilities is. So that's why we try to just hide it there. There's nothing we can do about it. It's mandated by code and by APS what has to be installed, both the inverter, which is the large box, and then APS here in Arizona requires a dedicated meter just for solar. Now that's not done anywhere else in the country. And then we have a safety disconnect box that's a kind of an OSHA thing that, so we can shut off the evil solar power if we have to. It's like drives me crazy. That's not done anywhere else in the world either.
Oh, how interesting. How interesting. But truly that looks nice and tidy and neat and doesn't stick out at all.
Well, you want it done nice and neat.
Yeah.
And we use all EMT steel conduit throughout the solar install. So it's really, solar is really done at a commercial level of electrical practice rather than even on residences.
Well, that's great. You really do an excellent job with everything that you do, the pride and workmanship.
Well, we try to. The warranty on solar panels is 25 years. We try to make everything on that system last the 25 years as well, which is not easy to do. Name me any other commercial or consumer electrical product with a warranty more than 1 year.
True. 25 years is a lot, especially in Arizona's harsh environment.
Yep, out in the heat.
Yeah, for sure. Now, one thing I want to point out is that you are an NABCEP, a NABCEP certified solar panel installer here in the Verde Valley. What does that mean?
That's the industry's certification process. They certify all kinds of different trades. To get that certification, you have to go through a fairly extensive 1-week course and then take a fairly expensive test that's really more exacting than the electrical licensing test.
Wow.
It's specifically for solar, so it's worthwhile doing. We've had it for 10 years.
That's great.
And it's got ongoing credits. It's just it's a good thing to look for. Everybody in the solar industry ought to have that by now. It's been around quite a while.
But definitely something you want to look for an installer with that, for sure. Well, excellent.
Hey, if anybody's got their NABCEP certification, come and we'll hire you.
Yes, Greg's hiring, especially if you've got that. But if you don't, willing to train. That's a wonderful career.
No, there's a lot of interest in solar these days. People are prepping and trying to be more self-sufficient, and we need help.
Yeah. That's great. Well, keep up the good work, Greg. It's wonderful to have you in studio. Thank you so much. Go to verdesolarpower.com. You can give them a call at 928-284-0884. Been speaking with Greg Collins from Verde Solar Power. And that's all the time we have left for Health, Wealth, and a Happy Home. I'll see you next time.